I am gonna save you from a headache today. Look at the system on the screen. I'll tell you exactly how you can make something like that in the easiest way I can. You need to have Visual Studio set up with your Unreal Engine to move ahead, so beat it. Now hold your haystacks for a minute, because we're not just gonna straight up start scripting, right? We need a no bullshit compile button. So you go to the window menu, you find developer tools, and now there it is, the modules tab. Press on it, get it in your layout, and place it wherever you want. Now you want to search the project name in here. We are gonna compile the whole project as a module from here every time we make a change. I'll go to the file menu, click new C++ class, and do not hesitate, yeah? Select that button that says public, name your script, whatever you want. Now let the engine generate a script, and bam, there it is. I'll go easy on you so you don't get overwhelmed. Now if you don't have a track mesh, go get it from the link in my description quick. Now we're all clear and we're gonna start scripting. You can see there is a generated header file for your actors, so you're gonna have to move it down, and then up in this space we are gonna have to include all the components that are required. We need a variable that defines our track segment's length. This has edit anywhere property because we'll edit this in runtime. Now we need another variable for our track segment's scale. So we, if you have a small mesh, we can scale it all along the spline. Now another one for storing the track mesh's segment. Next, we're gonna move to the protected code block to define our components, but before that, we need to include the components in our header file. So go up and I don't believe in destiny. I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies. After that, real quick, we are gonna define a private scoped function named getScaledLength with a return type of float, and inside it we are just going to return the product of scale and length. We're going to use a uProperty macro to create these variables with the behavior visible anywhere and blueprint read only, and then give it a category name. And below this we are actually going to create the variable named root. We're gonna do the same for Rails Spline, except for the fact that it is a spline Spline Component. And since we're also gonna spawn spline meshes, we need a variable as a list to hold them, and we will create a transient property variable which only exists at runtime. Now, our last part in the header file is defining the node that we'll call in the blueprints construction script to construct the track or walls or fences, whatever you want. For this, we're going to go to the public scope and then use the U function macro with the behaviors blueprint callable, and we'll give this a category and a name. Now, under this, we are going to make a function with return type void, and we're going to name this construct rail track or anything you want. Now, we'll start with implementing components. We do it in the class scope of implementation file. So this is how we do it. We create a default subobject of the uScene component with a custom text, and we're gonna assign it to the root variable that we created in the header file. Now, we are going to do the same as create default subobject of a uSpline component with a custom name, and then assign it to the variable railSpline that we created in the header file. We want our root component to be the actual root of the actor, so we are going to call the function setRootComponent and pass this the variable root. And after that, we are going to call the function setUpAttachment on railSpline and then pass it the root variable's reference. So what this does is it attaches railSpline to the root component. So it basically is a child of the root component now. We are 90% there, as the only thing left is the implementation of our construction node's logic. We write it and we call it straight away. First off, we are going to destroy all the spline meshes in the array and empty it. I'm not the type to take no for an answer. I don't deal with people that are like a cancer. No, instead I hang with the people that then save the total number of spline points in a variable. I just wanna work on my own for myself. I don't need no help, not anybody else. Nah, man, I got it dealt. I'm working on my wealth and I'm working on my health. Keep on working to excel, cause I'm working on myself. Yeah, and y'all don't know that I'm a soldier. Now, we are gonna check if the number of spline points are less than 2. Which, if they are, then stop the function right here. Now we are going to save the number of mesh segments needed in a variable, which is given by spline length divided by our scaled length function. And we'll check if segments needed are less than 1, which again, if they are, then stop the function. Now, finally, we iterate over the number of segments needed. And for each iteration, we get the start location, start tangent, end location, and end tangent.
Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight
create a spline mesh object
Yeah, I don't believe in destiny. I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies, they're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy, you gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me. You ain't seen the rest of me. I just wanna be the best at what I know, better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right, it's not enough. Even though you try, you still mess up.
set its static mesh
Still gonna die for what I love. Still gonna try, I won't give up. Still gonna fight until I've won. They say I'm way too obsessed and I've got nothing left. And I'm not quite there yet, but those words they'll regret. Cause I've got something left and I'm not giving.
register this component. Now we set its start location and start tangent along with the end location and end tangent. After that, we are gonna set its start scale and end scale.
Studied them religiously so I don't repeat history. And people won't admit to me they don't want a victory. Bad enough to get a C, they'd rather just go leave it be. And this journey I've been on since 13. Working hard and learning, never stopping searching. Yeah, it's burning, all this passion hurts me. I took action working, writing down these words. No, I'm not okay, I just wanna be something. I don't wanna be nothing.
And now, finally, we attach it to the root component.
Right, I'm just barely getting by, but I'll tell you I'm just fine, so you leave me alone. They say I'm way too obsessed and I've got nothing left, and I'm not quite there yet, but those words they'll regret. Cause I've got something left and I'm not giving in. I will not let them win, I won't stop till the end.
And add this spline mesh object to the spline mesh array. And now our work is done.
Yeah, let's go. I'ma make a couple stacks, do exactly what I want to. Mix a couple tracks, get a lady that I'm drawn to. Turn up to the max, get me faded till I'm gone, dude. I do what I want, couldn't stop me if you wanted to. I just work hard, yeah, harder than the rest. Some people say I'm lucky, others saying that I'm blessed. But I keep my head down, cause I crave progress. You ain't never gonna stop me, cause it's my conquest. And I'm never gonna rest.